Right, let's start off with explaining trinomials. When you factorize, then there's a few things that you must always take into consideration. You always have to look for the highest common factor. If there's nothing common, or if there was something common, you take it out and then you analyze to see if it might be the difference between two squares, which I will explain in another video, difference between two squares. If you can't do that, if you don't see a minus and you don't see two square numbers, you try and look for a trinomial. That's what I'm going to explain now. A tri means 3. So if you see 3 terms, you recognize it as a trinomial. You try grouping if you sit with 4 or more than 4 terms. Right, so I'm going to explain now trinomials, which is one type of factorizing. These exercises, I did send it to you through WhatsApp, where we must factorize the numbers or the exercises on the left side and the answers are on the right side. But it's not in the right order. You must decide whether A, B, C, or whatever goes with it. Now, to do a trinomial, you look at the whole number, the 6, and we can break the 6 up into the factors of 6, which would be 6 times 1 or 2 times 3. So you always work with the factors of the whole number. Then you take the factors, which you must add or subtract, in order to get the answer of the middle term. In this example, it's a plus 7. How can I get plus 7? Plus 6 and plus 1. So I'm not going to work with 2 and 3. That will give me a plus 7. This sign here at the end is like an extra check. If that's a positive, it means the signs must be the same. The same meaning it will either be a plus and a plus, or it will be a negative and a negative. So you open up 2 brackets, and if that's a square, you put 1x in here, 1 here and 1 here, and you just write the plus 6 and the plus 1 in the brackets. You can always go and check your answer on a piece of scrap paper. Don't show it where the examiner must mark your sum. This is just to make sure that you did factorize correctly. And if you get used to this, you don't have to do it all the time. How would you check? You FOIL. I'm quickly going to FOIL this. X times x is x squared. Then I do the outer plus 1x. Do the inner plus 6x. And the last, 6 times 1 is 6. I have 1, I have 6, so I have 7x. Right, then you just look on the right side with your specific exercise, if it goes with the A or the B or the C. This one, it connected with the C. That's the answer on the right side. Right, I'm going to do some more. If we look at number 2, x squared minus 7x plus 6. Again, we work with the factors of 6, which is 6 times 1 or 2 times 3. Now we need to have an answer of negative 7. So obvious, how would you get negative 7? Yes, you owe 6 and you owe 1 and then you owe 7. The double check is this one here at the end. It's a positive, so it means the signs must be the same. Signs must be the same. And they are. It's a minus and a minus. So we open up, so it's minus 6, minus 1. And you go and FOIL just to make double sure that you got it right. Let's look at the more we practice, the easier it will get. The next one has a minus 5 in it. So now we must look at the factors. 6 and 1 will give me 7 if I add it, or if I subtract, it's going to give me 5. 6 minus 1 is 5. I need to owe 5. So I can say I owe 6 and I have 1. So therefore I owe 5. But I can also work with 2 and 3. If I say I owe 2 and I owe 3, then I do indeed owe 5. But then you look at this double check at the end. If that's a negative, it means your signs must differ. So -2 and -3 will not work. I will work with -6 and I will work with +1. Let's see why the -2 and the -3 will not work. Let's say you decided to put in -2 and -3. Then if you FOIL this, x times x is x squared. And you look at the outer, I owe 3x. You look at the inner, I owe 2x. And the last, negative times a negative, must give you a positive. You see, positive 2 times 3 is 6. And so the -5x, yes, will be there, but your sum has a -6 at the end. So that's why you have to work with -6 and +1. Right, number 4. You will see it will get easier and easier as we carry on. 6 times 1, or I'm just going to write it here, 3 times 2. I need to have 5. I can say +6 minus 1 will give me a +5, or +3 plus 2 will also give me a +5. But you have to look at that sign, which is a negative. So we have to work with where the signs differ. It's going to be x plus 6 and x minus 1. And if you FOIL this, positive times a negative will give you a negative at the end. Number 5. We need a +5, same as the previous one, +5. But now the signs must be the same. So which one? +3 and +2. Then the signs are the same. Right. Number 6 looks like this. X squared minus 5x plus 6. Same thing, this time you need to owe 5, and that's a plus, so the signs must be the same. But you need to owe 5. So I'm just going to say I owe 3 and I owe 2, then I will owe 5. I owe 3 and I owe 2, then I owe 5. That's a plus, so it means the signs must be the same, either a plus and a plus or a minus and a minus. Again, you can FOIL it to make sure you get to that answer. You can always write down the question, pause it while you try it at home. If we look at this one, okay, factors of 6 again, 6 times 1 or 2 times 3. With this one, we need to have a -1. Remember, there's an invisible 1. We don't write the 1, but there's an invisible 1 there. So we need to find an answer of -1, or the difference must be 1. So you're going to work with 3 and 2. You can say I have 3 and -2, but what's that going to give you? 3 minus 2 will give you a +1. But we need to owe 1, so we need to owe more than what we have. I owe 3 and I have 2, therefore I still owe 1. Open the bracket, so it's -3 and +2. The last one for this video is going to be x squared plus x minus 6. Again, we need to have 1, but the signs must differ. Right? So what can I do? I can say I have 3 and I take away 2, then I will have a +1 because there's an invisible +1. There you are. Right, in the next video, we'll do the rest.